The title of this video is a lie. I didn't get any job offer. I know some of you clicked because of it. And before you get angry, give me a few minutes because that title is actually the reason I wanted to make this video. We live in a time where every headline has to sound unbelievable. Someone gets $1 million package. Someone builds a startup in 6 months. Someone says AI replaced an entire engineering team. After hearing things like that every day, it's easy to believe you're already behind before you've even started your career. I don't think that's healthy, and I definitely don't think it's helping computer science students make better decisions. Over the last year, I've noticed one question appearing everywhere. Should I still learn to code? What's interesting is that nobody was asking this question a few years ago. Back then, everyone wanted to become a software engineer because it looked like one of the safest careers you could choose. Then AI started improving much faster than anyone expected. Models began writing code, fixing bugs, explaining algorithms, creating websites, and even building small applications from a single prompt. Suddenly, the conversation changed. Instead of asking which programming language to learn, people started asking whether learning programming was even worth it anymore. I don't think that's the right question. The better question is, what exactly are you trying to become? If your goal is to become someone who types code from memory all day, then yes, AI is becoming incredibly good at that. In fact, it's getting better every few months. But if your goal is to become a software engineer, you've probably noticed something interesting. Writing code has never been the entire job. It's the most visible part of the job, but it's not the whole thing. Before a single line of code gets written, someone has to understand the problem, decide what needs to be built, think about how different parts of the system should work together, and figure out why users are even facing that problem in the first place. AI can help with those things, but it still depends on someone making decisions. I think this is where a lot of people accidentally confuse programming with software engineering. Programming is a skill. Software engineering is a process. One involves writing code, the other involves understanding people, products, trade-offs, deadlines, and making hundreds of decisions that nobody ever talks about on social media. That's why every time someone says, AI writes code, so programmers are finished, I feel like they're describing only a small part of what developers actually do. There's another reason I don't think learning to code is becoming useless. Programming changes the way you think. The first time you write a program, you're forced to break one big problem into smaller ones. Then you solve those smaller problems one by one. That habit quietly follows you into other parts of life. You become more patient when something doesn't work. You stop guessing as much. You learn to test ideas instead of assuming they're correct. Those habits don't disappear just because AI exists. At the same time, I don't want to pretend nothing is changing because that would be just as misleading. Things are changing very quickly. 5 years ago, building a basic web application was enough to impress people. Today, almost every AI model can generate one in a few seconds. That's not because programming has become less valuable. It's because the baseline has moved. The work that used to take hours now takes minutes. That means companies naturally expect more from developers. They don't want someone who only knows how to build what AI can already generate. They want someone who knows what to do after the AI finishes writing the first draft. I've been noticing this while running my own design studio, Designed by Human. A lot of the founders I talk to don't struggle with building their product anymore. AI has made that part much easier. The problem starts after that. Everyone can launch something. Getting people to remember it is the difficult part, and I think that's only going to matter more as AI keeps making software easier to build. AI is lowering the barrier to building. It isn't lowering the barrier to standing out. I actually think we're entering one of the most interesting periods in software development. For the first time, developers aren't being judged only by how much code they can write. They're being judged by how well they can use AI to build better products. That's a completely different skill. Two people can use the exact same AI model and end up with completely different results. One person ships a polished application. The other spends the entire day fixing mistakes because they accepted every suggestion without understanding it. The tool is the same. The person using it makes the difference. One thing I've realized over the last few months is that AI rewards people who already understand what they're building. If you don't know how a web application works, AI won't magically teach you architecture while generating code. If you don't understand databases, authentication, APIs, or state management, you'll eventually reach a point where the generated code stops making sense. That's usually when people say, AI made a mistake. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. Without understanding the basics, it's impossible to know which one happened. I also think many students are focusing on the wrong competition. They think they're competing against AI. I don't believe that's true. You're competing against other developers who are using AI well. That's a huge difference. The person who learns how to combine their own knowledge with AI is going to move much faster than someone trying to ignore it completely. At the same time, they'll also outperform someone who copies every answer without understanding it. That's probably where the biggest advantage exists right now. Something else that's interesting is how quickly opinions change in this industry. One week, a new AI model launches, and everyone says, software engineering is finished. 2 weeks later, another company releases an even stronger model, and suddenly, the previous one is old news. Then another model appears, and the conversation starts all over again. Meanwhile, companies are still shipping products, developers are still fixing bugs, startups are still hiring engineers, and users are still finding new problems that software needs to solve. Social media moves much faster than the real world. I've also noticed that the internet has become obsessed with extreme examples. One person gets an unbelievably high salary, and suddenly everyone feels like they're failing. Another developer builds a startup using AI in a weekend, and now people think every successful company appears overnight. That's one of the reasons I used the title of this video. I wanted to show how easy it is to grab attention with something outrageous. If you clicked because you were curious about my $650,000 offer, you're not alone. That's exactly how companies lure you. They pull you toward the numbers instead of the reality. Most developers build their careers one project, one interview, and one job at a time. I think another mistake students make is believing there's one perfect roadmap that guarantees success. Every few months, the roadmap changes. First, everyone said mobile development was the future, then Web3, then machine learning. And now, agentic AI has become the new trend. If you keep chasing whatever is popular this month, you'll spend more time switching directions than actually getting good at anything. If I were starting computer science today, I wouldn't spend all day worrying about whether AI will replace me. I'd spend that time asking a different question. What can I build that becomes easier because AI exists? That's a much more interesting way to look at the future. AI isn't only changing jobs, it's creating opportunities that didn't exist before. A single developer can now build products that previously required an entire team. That's incredible if you stop looking at AI as competition and start looking at it as leverage. One thing I think universities need to improve is how they prepare students for this reality. Memorizing syntax makes less sense when an AI can generate it instantly. Understanding why a system works has become much more valuable. Knowing how to evaluate AI-generated code has become a real skill. Being able to debug, test, review, and improve generated code is becoming part of software engineering itself. The classroom hasn't fully caught up with that yet, but the industry definitely has. I've heard people say, if AI writes the code, then software engineering won't exist anymore. I don't agree. Calculators didn't eliminate mathematicians. Excel didn't eliminate accountants. Better tools usually change jobs instead of deleting them. Software engineering is going through the same transition. The boring parts are becoming automated. The interesting parts are becoming more valuable. Will there be fewer entry-level jobs? Maybe. Companies may hire fewer people to do repetitive work because AI can already help with that. But companies are also building products they couldn't build before. History has shown that when productivity increases, expectations usually increase with it. We don't stop creating software because developers become faster. We create more software. I think that's the part people miss. The demand for software hasn't disappeared. Businesses still need websites. Hospitals still need software. Banks still need Excel. New startups appear every single day with problems they want solved. None of that stopped because AI learned how to write code. So, should you still learn to code? If your goal is only to memorize syntax, probably not. AI will always remember syntax better than you. If your goal is to understand how software works, build products people enjoy using, solve problems that businesses actually care about, and use AI as a tool instead of treating it like a threat,